very good morning to you. Welcome to my thought for the day. Now, as you've been reading Luke 11, you may have wondered if I'm going to linger long on this long passage between 37 and 53, when Jesus is talking to the Pharisees and then to the lawyers and teachers. But you can read that passage for yourself. But he sums it all up as we go into chapter 12. He says, "Beware of the leaven of the Pharisees, which is hypocrisy." And this is what he's been talking about in this passage quoted between 37 and 53 of chapter 11. That the Pharisees and the lawyers, the Pharisees did all the right things without the right motive. They did it to look good. They did it without a genuine desire to please God. They loved the best seats in the synagogues and salutations as they walked through the marketplace because they wore different clothes and it was obvious who they were, and everybody greeted them out of respect. And they loved it. And the lawyers taught people what they should, answered their questions about the law, told them what they should do, gave them burdens that were very hard to bear, and did nothing to help people carry the burdens that they loaded on them. And Jesus describes their activities as adding to the tombs of the prophets who had been killed through the ages by those religious leaders who didn't want didn't accept the challenge that they were hypocrites. The word hypocrite, of course, comes from the Greek, and it's all about, it comes from the plays when they used to only have one or two actors on stage who would recite the lines, but they would wear a different mask, hold a different mask in front of their face, so that you could tell which character they were going to be each time they spoke something. Now, we have actors who do plays, only 2 or 3 of them, and they go off stage and they change costume very quickly. And it's a similar thing to that. It's the same person, but they're wearing a different costume, wearing a different mask, and they're a different person. And this word hypocrite came into the language, which talked about someone who was two-faced, or someone who did one thing but thought another. And this is what the Pharisees and lawyers were doing. Their religion was all a public act, and there was nothing genuine in their hearts. And Jesus says to everyone, to his disciples, "Beware of the leaven of the Pharisees, which is hypocrisy." The leaven, now leaven is yeast, and the yeast, when you put it into, you put a very small amount of yeast into a large amount of dough, and the entire dough rises and is affected by the yeast or the leaven that you put into it. And this is what the Pharisees' attitude did to the people that they who saw their example. They saw these people getting everything that they needed, getting all the honor, getting the position, and so forth, and doing all the right things, but they didn't know that these people, well, perhaps they did know that these people actually were not genuine at all. They were hypocrites. And it doesn't take a lot for leaders to do to rub off on the people that they lead. And we need to beware. There are many people in the church today who are leaders, who lead, but there's something wrong at the heart of their faith. So he was warning them. During his ministry, he lambasted the Pharisees and the lawyers and the scribes repeatedly for the way that they behaved and the things that they did and the fact that their faith was not genuine. It's very sad, really, that instead of responding to this by saying, what can I do to be saved? How can I change? Teach me a better way. How can I please God? They just sought the more to find a way to trap Jesus in something that he said, so that they could put him on trial and condemn him before the people. Jesus says, nothing is covered up that will not be revealed, or hidden that will not be known. The day is coming when everything will be openly displayed. And we will all find that some of the things we thought we did very well, we actually did very poorly, and the motives within the heart will be revealed. But if our motive is to seek God with all our heart, to love God with all our heart, and love our neighbour as ourselves, when we fail, God is gracious to forgive because of what Jesus did, not because of what we did, not because we tried hard and because our heart was right before God. No, we will be made righteous not because of our motives or our deeds or anything, only because of what Jesus did. And that's wonderful. We all come in on the same ticket. We have our passport stamped with the same ticket. Jesus died for me. And we can wipe away the old slate and start anew. If we find, as we think about these things, that we have been hypocritical, that we have done things for show. We have done things in public. We've said things perhaps at meetings so that people will think greatly and will like what we say and like what we share. But when we're not in amongst Christian people, we behave very differently. If that is your kind of lifestyle, then there is the opportunity to repent, to say, I'm not going to be like these Pharisees. I'm not going to do and say one thing and think and feel a different one. I'm going to get my heart changed and be genuine through and through. Be genuine through and through, not hypocritical. Be one character, not be something different when you go home to what you are when you're out and about. Let everything about you be genuine. That's stark in this world where most people wear a public face. That's enough for me. Have a wonderful day. It's Sunday. Worship the Lord today in the beauty of holiness, and I'll see you again tomorrow. God bless you. Bye-bye.